Hello everyone and welcome back to More Education, where we provide more opportunities regarding education. In today's lesson we're going to be looking at electronic structure. The learning objectives are to know how the electrons are arranged in an atom by numbers or a diagram, and draw the electronic structures of the first 20 elements in the periodic table. Okay, let's get started. So before we begin, I'd like to recap on the previous lesson when we looked at finding out the number of protons, electrons and neutrons. Pause the video and complete the table. When you're ready, press play and we'll go through the answers. So for potassium, atomic number is 19, neutrons 20, electrons 19. Lithium, atomic mass is 7, atomic number 3, protons 3, neutrons 4 and electrons 3. Aluminium, atomic mass 27, protons 13, neutrons 14 and electrons 13. And finally silicon, the atomic mass was 28, atomic number 14, protons 14 and electrons 14. When drawing atoms, you need to remember the following. The first shell can hold up to 2 electrons, second shell can hold up to 8 electrons, and the third shell can hold up to 8 electrons. First example, we're going to look at lithium. Lithium has got 3 electrons, so we'll fill in the first shell with the 2 electrons, and that will mean that there's one more electron left, so we'll have to draw another shell and then add the final electron onto the second shell. The electron configuration, you would write it as 2 and 1. So you start off with the electrons in the first shell and then you work your way up. So there's 2 electrons in the first shell and then the second shell has only got 1 electron. So second example, if you're confident, you can pause it and have a go. If not, then I'll explain it again. Sodium has got 11 electrons. You start off by filling the first shell with the 2 electrons, the second shell with 8 electrons. So now we've got 10 electrons in total. So we need to draw another shell and add one more electron. The electron configuration would be 2, 8, 1. When it comes to drawing electrons in an atom, you can either draw them as dots or crosses. You will not be penalised for doing either in the exam, but just make sure that if you start with dots, you continue with dots. If you start with crosses, you continue with crosses. First progress check. Number 1, how many electrons can the second shell hold? That's worth 1 mark. And then number 2, draw the electronic structure of the following atoms: argon, boron and aluminium. That's worth 3 marks. Pause the video, give yourself about 4 minutes to answer the question. Press play when you're ready to continue. So for the first question, 8 electrons can be held in the second shell. Then we've got argon. Argon has got 18 electrons in total. So you would fill in from the first shell and its electron configuration will be 2, 8, 8. And we have boron, which has got 5 electrons. And then aluminium, which has got 13 electrons. Chemical properties. An element reacts depending on the number of electrons on its outermost shell. Elements in the same group have the same number of electrons in the highest energy level. So here we have lithium and sodium. Both elements have got 1 at the end of their electron configuration, meaning that their outermost shell has got 1 electron. Therefore, elements in the same group will have similar chemical properties. So I've got 2 examples for you of alkali metals reacting with water. Lithium plus water will give lithium hydroxide plus hydrogen. Sodium plus water will give sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen. Progress check 2. Pause the video, have a go at answering the question, and when you're ready to go through the answers, press play. Question 1, there's 8 electrons in the second shell. Question 2, potassium reacts with water and the products are potassium hydroxide and hydrogen. Then for the challenge question, sodium plus oxygen will give sodium oxide. Lithium plus oxygen will give lithium oxide. Thanks for watching. I hope you're able to draw electronic structures and see the link between the electrons and the chemical properties. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm Miss K, and this is More Education.